Somebody on social media is pretending to have, you know, this car and that car.
Yeah.
And then one day is not as descriptive as it is creative. The crowd that I speak to.
Yeah.
I speak about the losses, the low moments in my life, because
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of No Chill Podcast. Today, I'm very excited. I'm excited because I can see that we are consistent. We're moving with time, and everything is just flawless. I like the way this thing is happening, and I'd like to thank you guys for subscribing and also for watching. In today's episode, like I always say that this vodcast or podcast, whatever you prefer to say, it's more focused on 3 E's. I'll always say this until you guys get it right. We are here to encourage you guys. We are here to educate you. And we are here to entertain you. So which means whoever that comes to this vodcast, it has to be someone who falls under those 3 E's. So today we have Poloko. Poloko is a motivational speaker. He's a speaker. He's an author. So he's covering the 3rd E, or whichever E you want to say. Like, it doesn't have like orders in it. It's just like whatever you can say. First one is encouragement. Second one is entertainment. But Poloko is one of the people who's encouraging people to become better in their lives. And he's been doing it on social media back to back every day. He's showing and he's talking to people, trying to get people to be better. Poloko is an author of 2 books. The first book, we have it here. We'll show you guys during the show. Stronger. And the other one is called How Can I Make a Difference? So, Bafetu, you're going to learn a lot here. I'll advise you, just like myself, I have a book here, to just take notes, Bafetu, because you're going to be encouraged. You're going to be encouraged from Poloko. Poloko, welcome to No Chill Vodcast. This is our 2nd time meeting. And like I said, I always say that if they invite you once and they never call you again, there's something wrong with you. But if they call you twice, you know that there's something good about you. Welcome to No Chill Vodcast, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me back again. And amazing setup. I see we're moving up. Last time we did this, we were in the streets.
In Bram to be specific, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can show that, but we were in Bram.
Yeah.
I was cold as hell.
It was cold. Just that people, so cold, bro. We were trying to act as if like everything is fine. But bro, I'd like to thank you, because every time when I say, bro, let's do this, you don't even hesitate. You say, okay, let's do it. And I'd like to acknowledge you in front of the people, because you are busy, you know, but you make time. And I would like to appreciate you for that. Talk to me, Poloko. You know, people see your content. They see you all over the internet, encouraging them and telling them things that can build their mindset to become better. People see content, but they forget to focus on the mindset that was producing the content. Just take me back from your upbringing up until to a point where you decided that I want to speak to people, you know, and just tell me what turned your life around to a point where you'll be saying, you know what, I want to do this. From your upbringing, I understand that you grew up with your grandmother was the one who was taking care of you up until grade 12. And then you passed grade 12, but the marks were not giving, not balancing. And you found a job after that. And then that's when you started this thing, realizing that this thing of working is not for me. Can you just tell us that story from your upbringing up until you discover your talent?
Yeah, no. So I grew up a very shy kid, very shy, very timid, and I was never really the guy that stands out in the room, right? I was never really the guy that likes to speak up. Even now, I'm still the same. I just know how to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
I just know how to show up when I need to show up. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I'm happy to just show up in the room and be quiet, sit by myself in a corner. So when I was younger, this was always the case, but it was deeper than right now, because right now I can be quiet and just on my own, and that's because I want to.
You want to, yeah.
But when I was a kid, it was because I was so anxious around people.
Okay.
I couldn't speak freely around people. I mean, people listen to me speak now, and in person, if you go to any of my events when I'm speaking in person, it's absolutely insane. If I do say so, I'll tell you right now, you need to be at one of them. I'm good.
Is it now?
But
I just needed an invite. I'll come.
Absolutely, absolutely. But when people see that, they think, oh, you know, he must be one of those who kind of were born like this, and this has always been his thing. But when I was a kid, it wasn't like that. I remember one time trying to do a speech in class. We had to do a prepared speech.
Yeah.
I cried. Tell you right now, I cried in front of the class, and the teacher was like, man, is everything okay? I said, no, my dog died. I didn't have a dog. I just said, my dog died. But I was so scared of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So after that, you know, like you said, I finished matric. When I finished with matric, and that matric holiday, the matric holiday before I got my results, because I knew, I just had a feel. I was like, these results are coming, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying I failed, but I'm just saying you don't want to see them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to see them. So I went and got a part-time job that holiday. I went and got a holiday job. It was at a shoe shop, a retail store. And I tell you right now, I did 1 month. In the first 2 days, I was like, something is wrong here.
Yeah.
Went into the first week, finished the whole entire month. I got the money. The money wasn't impressive. I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, what are we doing? Why am I doing this? I'm not happy.
Yeah.
The money's not good.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing this. And so it was one of those things that really pushed me over the edge, where I was like, I need to go and figure out exactly what I'm going to do with my life, because I know that after this, I'm not going to study further.
Yeah.
Unless I have to go and upgrade the marks and try to get a bursary, because I couldn't afford to go and study and all these things.
Yeah.
But I had to figure out what it is that I'm good at and why it is that I'm here. I had so many existential questions that I was dealing with. And, you know, one thing led to another. I still remember I went to that shop after I got my matric results. The day I got my matric results, I go there. I get my final wage.
Yeah.
Right, it was because I was paid weekly.
Yeah.
I went and got my final wage. When I got that final wage, they put it in a little money bag. It was so ridiculous. Like, you know that money bag that you put coins in.
Yeah.
And it was so unimpressive. It was 200 and something bucks. It was 243 rands and 96 cents, something like that. Like, I was so mad, bro. And I still remember I was with one of my boys, and as soon as we walked out of the shop, there was something in me that was like, go get yourself a Bible. Yeah. Because at this point, bro, I'm desperate. I don't know where am I going? What am I doing? What's going on in my life? Just go and get yourself a Bible. Yeah. I was like, it's not that much money, but let me go get myself a Bible. Yeah. I go in there, I ask them for a Bible. You know, my friend was like, buddy, are you sure? Because this is all the money we have. Yes, yeah. Like, yeah, man, I need to get a Bible. I'm looking for something. Yeah. So I got that Bible. You know, with the change, I went and got a Big Mac, and then I walked home because, you know, that was, was it. Yeah. And I still remember I got home, and when I got home, I started reading the Bible. I wasn't sure where to start, and so I just picked a random place, which was the book of Jeremiah, where you get a young man called Jeremiah, and he has a vision where he speaks to God, and God calls him. And when God calls him, he says to him in verse 5, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. And before you were born into this world, I had already set you apart as my prophet to the nations. Yeah. And it hit me.
That's Jeremiah 1:5.
1:5. Yeah. I remember just sitting there and I was like, if this book is true, because remember when I bought a Bible, I didn't buy a Bible because I was, it's so in love with God and no, it was because I was searching. I was searching, and if I didn't find my answers in the Bible, I would have kept on searching. Yeah. And so when I read that, it really hit me. I was like, this can't be a coincidence, because I don't think that I'm here just because. I don't think I'm here by accident, and so I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And from there, I just went on that journey, never stopped reading that book to this day.
You still read
It was in that year where I got to discover that I could actually communicate well, which is something very crazy because I didn't know this before. It's not
Yes.
like I worked really, really hard to learn how to speak and then started speaking. No, it was the first time I stood up and spoke
Yeah.
was because a mentor of mine said, you're going to speak to these kids today. We were at a high school.
Yeah.
It was like a group of 60 kids. She was like, you're going to talk to them. I was like, I don't think I should.
Yeah.
And then she went up, spoke to them. And when she spoke to them, she said, I brought someone today who's going to speak to you guys. I was like, no, don't do that.
So is this after when was this in your speaking journey? Was it in the beginning? Did she know that you actually know how to speak with people, or she was just trying you out?
She was just so good at picking these things up, and she just really believed in me.
Wow.
Because the thing is, one thing I can tell you is I was committed.
Yeah.
Right? I was committed. All I knew is that I was committed to my growth. I was committed to finding out who I am and where I'm supposed to be
Yes.
and what I'm good at.
Yeah.
And I think she saw that. Because
Yeah.
that's all you need, right? All you need is really that commitment.
Yeah.
You don't need to already be good at something. You just need somebody who's going to show up and say, yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the theme in my life.
Yeah.
I've always been the guy that just shows up and says, let's go. I'm
Yeah.
willing to do it. You know,
Yeah.
you're going to tell me what to do and I'm going to do exactly just that. I mean, I can give you a very simple example from when I was in high school. I was an athlete in high school.
Yeah.
But I started quite late in high school in grade 11.
Yeah.
And when I started, I remember I went to my coach and he said, as long as you just show up every day, I'm telling you, you're going to be one of the best athletes in this town. I tell you right now, I was one of the best athletes in Northwest, right?
Yeah.
And it was just because I was just willing to show up. Just when I show up and they say, do this, do that, I did it. So that was really it for me.
Yeah.
That's always been it.
So, if you still remember, can you go back and just tell us the day you decided, Uti, I'm going to start speaking with people. This is my thing, and I'm going to do it until, I don't know, maybe until death.
It was that day when my mentor put me in front of high school kids.
Yeah.
And when I started speaking to them, I spoke to them, right? And when I finished speaking to them, I was like, this felt so right.
And what were you talking about at that time?
So
I mean, because
bro, I'm so like I don't even remember what I spoke about. I just remember the feeling, right?
Yeah.
I just remember the feeling, and I know that maybe I might have been repeating some stuff I've heard about.
Yeah.
Maybe I might have repeated some stuff I heard from TD Jakes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But all I know is that it felt right. I
Yeah.
felt like I belong here. I should be doing this.
Yes.
This is who I am. Like this is what I should be doing. Never looked back again. I was like, this is me.
From 2019.
No, when I was 19. So that's 2015.
15. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, 2015. I don't want to give out my age like that.
So, cool, I hear you. But, I mean, I understand now. Before then, you didn't understand social media. So, after realizing that this is what you should be doing, there was no TikTok. Maybe there was, but you didn't know about it. I can assume.
I didn't care.
You didn't care
didn't
about
care
social
about
media.
social media.
So now, how were you doing this thing? How were you, like, after finding out, how did you then keep going back to show yourself? Like, showing yourself, like, showing up all the time?
It was the high schools, right? Because I used to go to high schools every single day of the week. Every day of the week, I was at a new high school. So when I started at that high school, I was like, I want to do more of this. I was like, can I do this again at another high school?
Yeah.
And I was given that opportunity.
Yeah.
And then from there, word just gets around town and people find out that you are brilliant with speaking to high school students. And I'm grateful for the town I come from. I come from Rustenburg, and in Rustenburg, there's still that culture in high schools, in a lot of the high schools, where they hold on to Christianity. They try to encourage their kids. They try to keep their kids in the straight and narrow. And so I was at a new high school almost every day. And when I tell you now, I was so committed. I still remember there were days when I would be walking to these high schools. I would walk like an hour just to get to that high school because I didn't have the money. They were not paying me. I was just showing up.
Yeah.
Right. And I did that for an entire year. And then I went on and did it for another year and another year. For a couple of years, I went ahead and did it. And I only got on social media because of COVID. I mean, I always had a social media account, but it was just for me to watch other people do what they're doing.
Yes.
But for me to create intentionally for social media, it was because of COVID.
Of COVID,
when I couldn't go to the schools anymore.
Yes, yes.
So I was like,
sense.
I need to speak to the people anyway.
Yes.
And so started doing TikTok. Even TikTok, I wasn't really that serious. I was like, you know, I just want to pass time because it was trending where people were doing little silly challenges.
Yes, yes.
You know, playing football with a toilet paper. It's like doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, let me go on and do that. And then one day just put out a video, one video after another, and then there was just that one video.
That made it. And it takes a lot of videos for you to actually get that one that actually makes it. But obviously that was not your intention to grow on TikTok. You were just doing what you love, using the platforms given, like TikTok. But now, as much as you are speaking to these people, you are changing their lives, we want to understand what is your source of this mindset. There has to be a source. You can't talk about something that you don't understand. I mean, if you're going to have to tell me to do something or sort of motivate me in a sort, there has to be some knowledge that you can't just say things to people and you want them to believe unless there's some certain source in your life where you get these things from. What were you doing at that moment when you go to school? Were you just going to school, talk about whatever you're talking about, come back and sleep and back to back like that? What were you?
Bro, for a long time, well, first of all, I must say for a long time, I've been studying the greats of the personal development space.
Okay.
So many people that have contributed so massively to my life, you know, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking, Bob Proctor, Earl Nightingale, Earl Shove, Jim Rohn, and Eric Butterworth. These are really old guys, really old guys. And I'm really a student of personal development and that whole industry. I'm a nerd for it.
Yes.
And so, you know, I started really studying that and listening to preachers as well. But the Bible became that foundation for me. Because at that time, I discovered that every single great personal development book, you can't find a good one that doesn't have a basis that is in the Bible. You cannot find a good personal development book that doesn't take notes from the Bible. You can't find one. You can point to any good one and I will show you exactly how it stems from the Bible, how those principles came from the Bible. And I bet you the Bible was here before those books.
Yes.
So the Bible became that obsession for me because every time you read Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
The teachings of faith of Think and Grow Rich, I was so grateful for it because it was explaining what I had read in the Bible.
Yeah.
And it doesn't talk about it as a book that is founded on the Bible, but I do know that every good principle, every good value, everything that is good in our society, everything that is necessary for a solid country, a solid community, it's all found in the Bible. And so I just really kept that that has always been my anchor. That has always been where I draw my inspiration from, and then just add everything else on that to say, help me understand this. You know, go to so and so, help me understand this. Listen to so and so, and they all help me understand what is in the Bible. So everything. And I know, we live in a time now where people are trying to do away with the Bible. People are trying to act like the Bible is nonsense, the Bible is this. And I tell you now, because it's very interesting, people who talk to me about it are people who have never read it. Anyone who will tell you that the Bible is nonsense, the Bible is fairy tale, the Bible, they've never read it. They've never ever read it. Maybe they read it two pages or so, or maybe they're just taking sound bites from what they heard from someone else, but they've never read it in its entirety and studied it to understand it. Because if you do, you understand that to have a good family, to have a good life, to have a good society, to have a good career, all of it is in there.
Yeah.
So that's what it became for me. It became...
The source was the Bible and the books around.
It had to become that. It had to become that. And also just the understanding that I have a calling. Right? I have a calling. I'm here for a purpose. And for me, when I stood up there, and it's something that I can't really explain to other people, but it felt right.
Yeah.
It felt right. This is what I should be doing. When I'm not doing it, I'm unsettled.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm not doing it for other people, when I'm not helping people in this way, there's something that's not right in me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you. So let's talk about the confidence, self-confidence, man. I kind of feel like, man, that is something that a lot of people are missing a lot of opportunities because they lack self-confidence. You seem like confidence was never a problem for you, even if it was a problem. But what strategies or techniques did you apply in your life to gain it?
So it was before the strategies and the techniques, it's first an understanding, right? The reason why most people struggle with confidence is because most people don't understand who they are. So the human being is spirit, soul, and body,
Yeah.
right? Or flesh, as we sometimes might call it. But
Yes.
spirit, soul, and body. And body is the lowest form of who we are.
Yeah.
And so most people identify themselves by the body, the flesh, what
Yeah.
they look like.
Yeah.
And so I'm dressed a certain way and I feel good today.
Yeah.
I look a certain way and I feel good today. I mean, I didn't get a haircut today. I actually felt kind of bad about it. But, you know, DJ's Boo stopped combing his hair at one point and never looked back. And that's been working for him.
Yeah,
You know,
yes, yeah.
Jay-Z did it too. So,
Exactly, yeah. It
but-
doesn't matter. Really.
yeah. But it's an understanding that my lowest form
Yeah.
is who you see right now. The part of me that is so powerful and so strong, the part of me that runs all of this is the part that you don't see. And that is the spiritual man. And when I understood that I'm a spiritual man before I am a physical man,
Yeah.
that really changed the way that I view myself, the way that I walk into rooms,
Yeah.
the way that I go and do anything. Right? I mean, beginning of this year, I was invited by Parliament to come and speak to the National Council of Provinces.
Yeah.
And I had to speak to them about effective communication. I was like, why did you call me? You know, that was the first thing that I thought of. Why did you call me?
Yeah.
But I still remember sitting in that room and everyone who goes up, even just looking at the program, I still have a copy of the program. It was Advocate so-and-so, Dr. so-and-so,
Yeah.
and then there was Honorable so-and-so.
And-
I don't know if you need to do anything to get the honorable title, but anyway,
Yeah.
you know, Honorable so-and-so, and then it was just Mr. Poloko Mmakgolane. Literally, I was the only Mr. on there, and
Yeah.
everyone else had this prestigious title. And I still remember for a moment, I was tempted to just really look down on myself. But I just said that, I was like, there's a reason they called you here.
Yeah.
They called you here because they saw
They
something
saw
in you,
something, yes.
right? So for me, I understand that moment where I was tempted to lose my confidence was because I was there in the natural, in what you see. You know,
Yes,
I
yes.
don't have a title.
Yes.
You know, I don't have this degree and that degree, and I
Yeah.
don't know this about that. But
Yeah.
I was like, Poloko, you were here for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? And you remember that moment when you were 18 years old, when God said, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. And before you came into this world, I had already set you apart as a voice to the nations. And so now I show up. It doesn't matter. You can put me anywhere. I show up, and I show out. And there's nothing that can shake my confidence. But that's really just understanding that my confidence doesn't come from anything that is external. And most people struggle with that because their confidence is external.
Yeah.
The confidence comes from the fact that I just got a new haircut
Yeah.
or a new hairdo. The confidence comes from the fact that I have a suit on.
Yeah.
And that's where my confidence comes from. Your confidence cannot come from that. If your confidence is rooted in anything that can be taken away from you,
Yeah.
it's bound to fail you.
Yeah.
Right? Your confidence has to be rooted in what people cannot take away from you. You can't take away from me what you don't see.
Yeah.
Right? My confidence is in the fact that I know that God is within me. I am a child of God, and you can't take that away from me. There's nothing that can happen in my life that can shake that.
Yeah.
And so that for me has always been the secret of confidence. And I really, you know, feel sorry for people when they start talking about confidence and it's all you're beautiful. It's like, that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with it. What if you get punched in the eye and now you have a cut, you know, across your face and you're not as beautiful as
Yeah.
you like? That can't be the source of your confidence. So
Yeah.
the source is always internal instead of external.
So there's someone right now watching you, you know, they don't have confidence. They want to open a YouTube account, they want to open a TikTok account, or they want to do something on social media, but they don't have that confidence. They don't think the way you think. For you, obviously, it was easier because you depend on your higher self. They don't know about those things. Practical things that you can do. What would you say they should do in that case, like to gain it?
So to get to that point, and you know, thinking back on myself,
Yeah,
it was just the doing, right?
it was
Like
just
on a
doing.
practical level,
Yeah,
it's just the doing.
Yes,
You just do, and as you do, you realize that it's not that bad. Because most people are not confident because they're afraid of, you know, things that are mythical, you know, that they made up in their minds. It's like,
Yeah.
what if people do this, and it's like, no, it's not that deep. Just go.
just do.
Just go. Just go ahead and do. And the more you do, the more you realize that actually it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as I thought it was. So you don't gain confidence by not doing. And then a second thing that's so important for me is personal achievement, right? Much of the confidence comes from personal achievement.
Yes.
And that comes from little things such as keeping your word.
Yes.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
There is your integrity is as a fiber, and every time you don't keep your word, you sort of wear that fiber out. You wear it out. Every time you don't keep your word, you know. You know what I'm saying? You know, because you might lie to us and you might fool us, but you know.
Yeah.
Every time you lie, because deep in your subconscious mind, you know that you are not who you say you are. We
Yeah.
might not know it, but you know that you are not who you say you are.
Yeah.
And so it's simple things like that, right? It's like, do your best to live one life.
Yeah.
Do your best to live one life. Try not to live a double life. I mean, you and I were talking about this on the phone the other day. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you over here on social media, you're trying to show us the whips that you don't have and this lifestyle that you don't have.
Yeah.
That wears away at your confidence.
Yeah.
So do your best to live one life. This is one of the most important things to confidence that you will hear. Like, if you live one life,
Yeah.
you know, even in your mind, you walk into every room as yourself, and you know that I didn't have to pretend to be here. Every time you pretend, it wears you out, man.
You mentioned integrity. I feel like a lot of people don't understand it, man. I don't know if you can just put it in a simple words or statements just to make people understand, because it goes down to integrity to everything in our lives, you know. Like it's so important that I just recently started learning integrity in my life, within my life, and I can see that it's working, and I'm becoming so peaceful. What is integrity in your own understanding, in a way that anyone who's watching can understand?
In very simple terms, integrity is an integration of who you are and who you say you are, right? Who you actually are
Yes.
and who you say you are,
Yes.
coming together.
Yes.
This is integrity, right? This is actually so good. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, or seriously, it's simply that.
Yeah.
It's who I am and who I say I am coming together, and you can't tell the difference between these two people.
Yeah.
Because a lack of integrity is who you are and who you say you are not matching up.
Yes.
Right? They don't integrate. There's no integration between who you are and who you say you are. So that is very simply what integrity is.
Yeah.
It's the person that you are at home with your lady, with your mom, with your dad, with whoever.
Yeah.
It's that person and the person that you are here in front of the camera. When those two people come together, that's called integrity. The person that you are in public, the person that you say you are, and the person that you are when no one's watching.
Yes.
That's integrity. And a lack of integrity is when it's the opposite.
It's the opposite. And I kind of feel like there's so many people, even content creators and influencers on social media, who pretend to be the people or the persons they are not in their life. So there's no match between the integrity, like there's no integrity there. What do you think is a danger for them, for not being integrity, like for not being honest with themselves?
It's the fact that you can't count on yourself. You cannot count on yourself when you know.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember this is all you.
Yeah.
And when you know at a subconscious level that I can't count on myself.
Yes.
And I don't keep my word. I'm not the same person. It wears you out, right? So I want to say, like, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Would you say it causes like mental health issues in a way, like depression?
That's really the root of all of it, right? That's really the root of all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we spoke about this the other day. I feel like we need to not talk about too many things on the phone so we can say them on camera. But you know, we spoke about this the other day. Somebody on social media is pretending to have, you know, this car and that car.
Yeah.
And then one day things go well for them. Finally, he buys himself a Polo.
Yeah.
He can't even come here and celebrate with us, right? He can't even come and celebrate and say, guys, I just bought my first Polo. It's amazing. I just bought my first car. Because the whole time you made us believe that you have a Beamer. You know what I'm saying? It's like now your life is miserable. You can't celebrate the wins in your own life. That's a sad way to live, bro.
That's sad,
It's a sad way to live. It's like you get your first apartment, but you made us believe you live in a mansion the whole time. So you can't come and say, guys, I just got my first apartment and life is moving forward and I'm progressing and I'm winning. Remember, because the mind doesn't know the difference.
Yes.
To the mind, it's like, you know, what is going on here? Are you moving backwards? Because the whole time you've been telling us that you are living up big. So,
because that's what is happening on social media. So now, it's not just about talking about them, but we need to find ways, because there are people who are actually deep in it. They don't even know how to come out. You understand? So now it always goes to authenticity. They are growing now. There's no longer change, because now if the numbers are going up and people are loving you because you're posting the monies and all these things that you're posting, or you're just pretending to be someone that you're not, people are happy, they're cherishing you. Some of them, they'll be like, congrats, you inspire me. But now, you know deep down, I'm not that, this is not me. So how can you advise someone who is tired of this life to come out and just say, yo, and live their peaceful life?
Just live your life, man.
But how do you change from 200,000 followers, who knows that you have money, the next thing? Because that's difficult, bro. You already build a brand that shows certain things, and you know deep down that this is not me, and it's growing, and people now, some of them, they're even being inspired. So then how do you turn and say, you know what, I'm tired of this life because this thing is eating me. When I go to sleep, it comes back to me and say, yo, you posted a picture, you got 200,000 likes, but you edited that picture, or that car is not yours, or that house is not yours.
Listen, man, you rebrand. We all rebrand all the time. But I'll tell you this, even though if I had pretended to be someone else and it inspired other people, I'm telling you now, people will be more inspired by you coming out and saying, yo, I don't have it like that, than they will be by you saying, I have it all together. Right?
I hear you.
You have to understand this, because when it comes to this, so as a speaker, when I speak, I speak more about my losses than I do about my wins. Right? When I show up, any crowd that I speak to, I speak about the losses, the low moments in my life, because as tempting as it might be to talk about what I'm getting right and how I'm winning and everything that's going well in my life, most people don't relate to that. There's a disconnect. And it becomes so intimate, it becomes so special when you can say to somebody, I actually don't have it like that. You and I are more common than you realize. And it's very encouraging. And there's no other way to say this than actually just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do it. Go ahead and just be who you are. Be who you are.
Because it's peaceful and it's free, man.
It's peaceful. It's free. You are able to celebrate the little moments in your life. You are able to celebrate your progress. You win. It's amazing, bro. It's amazing. So I'd say, and I think this is very important for most content creators out there. Listen, we relate more to your humanity than we do to you as a superhero. We don't relate to superheroes. We don't. We might look at you, but to us, you are up there. And this is the beautiful thing. Do you know that if something comes out about me tomorrow and it's like, oh my goodness, we saw him walking at so-and-so, it's because I never said I had it all together. I never told you I was a millionaire, right? It's so peaceful.
Yes.
I never told you
Yes.
that my life is amazing.
Yes.
You know, I show up and I tell you sometimes that, yo, this thing sucks, man. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Right? And people relate because they get tired too. Right? So that's very important. I say to all content creators out there, make sure that people get to see your humanity, because if they don't, and this is the very important thing, if they don't, one day they will. One day they will. And something that is not that deep will seem so big.
Yeah.
Right? One day when they find out that you actually get depressed too, because you made them believe
that you're strong.
Oh, no, me, I'm a superhero. You made them believe that. Now it's bigger than what it should be. So be yourself, man. Live a peaceful life.
Yeah, because I mean, Poloko, I think you're the only one who knows the whole goal for this, or the idea, the motive around this podcast. It's just so that we can, put it out there to people, talk about the reality of social media, how to behave and how to do things right. And you are here because I saw that there's a gap in terms of understanding self-development. As much as people see no chill vodcasts, no chill memes, no chill whatever, it's the mindset that is producing those things. It's not those things. I'm not the content, as much as the content is dope, but we try to understand the mindset. Right now, you're doing your motivational speaker using social media. Social media is another environment. It's not the same as when you were doing it at school. You came up, the confidence, you built it. But there's someone right now who's sitting, no self-confident. You spoke about the self-confident and how to attain it. Now there's fear. There's this fear, and also there's what we call... it's fear and self-doubt. What is the difference between fear and self-doubt? And of course, you will be the right person to talk about this self-doubt and fear, and how can someone overcome this for someone who's trying to do something on social media or anywhere in life, because this thing is not even about social media only. It's reality. We need to have self-confidence. We need to also not be fearful. How do you then, can you please define those two things according to your own understanding, and just tell us the practical way to overcome them?
It's pretty much the same thing, right? Because fear is a result of self-doubt.
Yes.
Right. Most of our fears come from wrong beliefs.
Yes.
It's not necessarily a matter of, it's not like a horror movie type of thing for most people.
Yeah.
It's a result of self-doubt. It's a result of the wrong belief, because there's no such thing as, everyone's a believer.
Yeah.
Everyone's a believer in something. And when we are fearful, it's because we believe in the wrong thing. So I don't know if you've ever heard someone say, the thing that you fear the most tends to happen.
Yeah,
right?
I've heard that.
And people take that so lightly, because they don't understand it at a deeper level. But at a deeper level, like the Bible, in the Bible, you get to see the story of Job.
Yeah.
And Job makes a statement that is often overlooked, where he says, the thing I fear the most has come upon me. And the reason why we often experience the things that we are most fearful of is because it's a strong belief. You can't overcome your belief. Your belief is a powerful thing. So the thing that you are most fearful of, so for example, when we talk about the things you believe in, when you talk about praying and believing for something to happen, you've heard about the law of attraction.
Yes.
They say you should feel it. You should get yourself to a point where even before you have it, it's as though you already have it.
Yes.
And what's fear? Fear is you literally in the state of the negative condition having happened already before it happens.
Yes.
Before it happens, you already feel the emotions.
Yeah.
Right? Before it happens, you've already pictured it. You see someone who says, I'm afraid of losing, I'm afraid of losing you.
Yeah.
Oh, you will lose them. Yeah. It's only a matter of time until you lose them. My biggest fear is losing you. Yeah, it's only a matter of time until you lose them. So, right?
Sorry to cut you off, because I mean, you're saying that even now I feel like I have to ask you about this. Even the things that you said, do they really matter that deep? The things that you say to yourself, even in a joking way.
Bro, there's something that one of my favorite writers and speakers is an old man, long dead now, called Dr. Joseph Murphy. I don't know if you know Joseph Murphy.
Yeah, he wrote The
Power of
Subconscious.
Power of the Subconscious Mind.
Yes.
And in The Power of the Subconscious Mind, he says that your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a joke and a fact.
That's sad.
Right?
That's sad.
And so you joke about your life.
Yes.
And you don't know that your mind takes you literally. It doesn't know the joke. It doesn't get the joke.
Yes.
It doesn't understand that this is a joke.
Yes.
And so what often happens is that we repeat these things often enough and it hardens into fact.
Yeah.
Bro, when you talk about the things we say to ourselves and about ourselves, two of the most powerful words when put together is I am. I am is the essence of creation, right? This is why
That's deep. That's
God
deep.
describes himself as I am. When Moses asked God for his name, he said, I am.
Yes.
Because
Yes, I
I
remember.
am is the most powerful force. I am are two of the most powerful words when put together.
Yes.
And now you say, I am broke.
Eish,
And then you say-
that's the most used word.
I am tired. Because most people don't understand. Here's something very important. I am is not as descriptive as it is creative, right? It's
Yeah.
more creative than it is descriptive. And most people think that I am is simply a descriptive phrase, which is describing my current circumstances. But I am is a creative phrase. It creates situations. It creates more of what we say. And so when I say, sometimes you wake up in the morning, you have a sore throat, maybe a blocked nose, you say, I am sick.
Yes.
And for the next 2 weeks, it just keeps on getting worse.
Yeah.
You know, it's so crazy, bro. Like, people don't believe me when I say this. It's been, ever since the COVID time, I haven't been sick, right? Haven't been sick, and I kid you not.
No
This is
flu, nothing.
Hand on the Bible. I haven't been sick since the COVID time. Because I started realizing back then that every year from when I was a kid, I used to get sick every single winter.
Yeah.
It was because I would expect it. It was because I was conditioned that way. At home, winter's coming up, they start getting me all this medicine and they start making sure that I put on this. Anytime they see me walking barefoot, you're gonna get sick.
Yes.
It's like, how would you not get sick? And so, of course, I have to take care of myself. I take care of myself. I exercise. I try to make sure that I drink enough water and eat and whatnot. But when it comes to this, there's an important understanding that I am is creative.
Yes. So now, how do then people start or can start using this word I am for their own creation intentionally? What tools can they use, like, intentionally? Because now maybe someone didn't know about the I am and they've been saying I'm broke. So how do you then recondition or just rearrange the way you use that word I am?
You have to discipline yourself, because there's really no magic way to it, right?
Yeah.
There's no magic way to it. You have to discipline yourself, where every single time that I get a negative thought,
Yeah.
I have to say to myself, no. Like, literally, I kid you not, bro. So, the other day, somebody looked at me crazy because I was sitting there. I was like, no. Because like there was something so crazy happening in my mind. Like, there was such a crazy thought in my mind. I was like, no. You know, because I was thinking about this happening and then that happening and then that happening, and it was so negative.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
That's funny.
You know, and but you have to talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Talk to yourself and say, okay, start thinking positively, start thinking the right
Yeah.
things. And I must say, because it's important for you to understand that it is difficult.
Yeah.
Because what makes it difficult is the fact that most of the time our conditions are negative. If you've lived in negative conditions for long enough, it's hard for you to shape your speech
Yes,
differently.
that's why I want
Right.
you to tell us, how do you then come out of those conditions, like intentionally? Like, okay, what are the steps or tools I can use as a person to just recondition myself?
You start changing your world. I'll tell you right now, like,
Yeah.
like, for example, you start with social media, right?
Yeah.
Most of the content that I consume
Yeah.
is content that I want to consume. I've carefully structured the content that I consume. I'm not afraid of unfollowing people. Like, you put something on there that I don't like, I'm not afraid of unfollowing. People say, follow for follow. I follow your mother, you follow me, we follow your uncle, and then we grow like this. It's like, no, I can't just keep following people just because, you know. Now, all of a sudden, I've got, 50 different types of big booty on my screen, and this one talking about the pandemic, and this one talking about Njolo's this, and people with all kinds of opinions just flooding my mind. I can't allow that. So, you have to be very intentional about the content that you allow into your mind. It's like, what is it that I allow my eyes to see? What is it that I allow my ears to listen to? Right? You change what you listen to. Like most of the music that we listen to, like I'd be so afraid to even talk about it sometimes, because what the youngins are listening to, I'm like, I didn't know, like, all these guys are so depressed. Like, I don't understand how you can be so depressed and make so much money. Like, I'm like, wow. How are you so depressed? Bro, most of these guys are so depressed, right? So it's the music you listen to. You listen to a song saying something like, I want to die. And then the next thing, you really want to die, you're surprised. It's like, what did you think was going to happen?
So what we consume is very, very important.
What you consume is so important. The people that you talk to, right? Sometimes I have to talk to my friend. Like, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. I was like, yo, bro, I think I'm really tired of this single life. I'm ready to be married, man. I said, I'm going to get married this year if I have to. He was like, you're going to end up divorced. I nearly smacked him across the face. I said, you don't say that about me. I said, you say that about you, right? You say that about you. Don't talk about me getting divorced and all these things. And sometimes we think it's uptight, right? But it's so important because these words are so creative in our lives.
But, Poloko, what if these people who are telling us these things are people we trust, like our family members, my mother, like you could say, you know what, you, and most of our beliefs comes from our parents, school system, society, churches, or the friends. So you find that there's someone, you are my best friend, or you're my brother, you're telling me that this, for example, YouTube is so difficult. And that, if I take it because it's someone that I trust and I believe, okay, it's my older brother, okay, cool. And then I stop. So how do you then also advise those people who are getting those advice from their relatives, people that they trust? Because it's hard to actually not trust someone. I mean, someone who's close to you, like your brother, your mother, your father.
I replaced them. I tell you right now, I replaced them. Now, and when I say I replaced them, I mean it in a sense where we are creatures of community. We want to talk to people, and so there are certain things that I can't talk to my mom about. There are certain things I can't talk to my family about. I come from a poor family, and so I can't talk about money. I can't talk about money there. Everything is too expensive. Everything is like it's complaints. It's all complaints. Like if I'm in a bad financial position, I don't even take their calls because the calls are so victim immersed. It's like, it's like, guys, I need to, the other day I called you and when we spoke the day before yesterday, you and I spoke, and man, I was in such a bad space, and without even knowing it, you were like, Poloko, I'm telling you, bro, these things are gonna turn around. You don't even worry about the money. The money is coming, and things are gonna work out. And I want, that's what I mean when I say I replaced them. So instead of talking to my mom, I talk to you. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel you.
So it's really that. It's really that. I still have good relationships with those people, but I limit the access. I limit what we talk about. I limit how much I allow them to speak into my life. I really limit that because it makes a big difference to your mentality.
But it can also create conflict, in a way, because maybe your mom tells you not to do or not to come to No Chill Podcast and you come because you have your own belief. It will seem like you disrespected it.
I could care less. I'm sorry. Respect your parents. You gotta respect your parents.
Because there are kids right now, before you answer, there are kids right now who are being told their parents would say, focus on school, social media, it's bad. It's all about this thing, school. And me and you can agree with school system is no longer saving us, if we have to be honest, in a way, things are changing, so we have to adapt to new things. And I'm a big advocate of social media. You know, it changed my life. It just changed my life from zero to up. So there are kids right now who really wants to also own podcast. They want to have this, and they're talking to their parents or whoever that is close to them, and their parents, they say, don't do it. If you do it in this house, you're gonna leave.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. When I was in high school, I used to listen to everything my parents said do.
Yeah.
When I finished high school, after I finished high school, that January after matric, I told them I was moving out. I didn't ask them. I told them I was moving out. This is, now when I say this, I don't say this to say, you know, speak to your parents any kind of way, or I'm telling you, to this point, I tell my parents what I'm doing. I don't ask them.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm very intentional about not doing anything because my parents said so is because I want to preserve my relationship with my parents. I want to save my relationship with my parents.
Yeah.
If I do things because they told me to do it, there will come a time when I resent them.
Yeah.
Right? Most of the resentment between families oftentimes is because you told me to do this and I wasted years of my life doing this for you, and now my life is left behind.
Yeah.
And so now I know that if by 30 years old I'm still single and broke and don't have kids and don't have nothing, it's me. I can't point a finger at my parents. And that way I know that our relationship will always be good. But if I had went doing what they wanted me to do, they said go study, I went and studied, they said do this, I did that until I was 30, and by 30 I'm still broke and unmarried and don't have kids and my life has nothing to it, easily I blame them.
But
easily,
how is it going to help you for blaming your parents? Now it's your life.
That's what I'm saying, because you listen to them.
How is it going to help?
You listen to them. So that's why the solution is
you
do what you want to do. You do what you want to do.
But there's a disrespecting matter, or there's a line here, which if you do what you want to do, you're disrespectful. It's hard. I know it's a very hard thing to actually talk about, but that's what is happening with a lot of people. Like even kids now, they have their phones kadinako, you know. As much as social media is bad, it's not entirely bad. There's some parts where it's bad and there's some parts where it's good, you know. And you might find that kids are seeing, and I see social media as a platform to showcase your talents, you know. And talking about talents and purpose, I feel like they go together, unless if you have another definition. I want you to talk about the talents. What are the talents? Because so many people, they do have talents according to people's opinion. I could come to you and say you are talented in cooking, but you might find that you don't realize it. You are good. So then how do one actually discover their talent, or actually get to a point where they say, okay, this is my talent and I'm gonna use it, you know? And purpose. So now those are the two things. There's talent and there's purpose. What are those things? With your own definition, your own explanation, your own understanding, how can one discover their talents? What is talent and what is purpose?
So the talent to me is a seed, right? It's the seed, or it's the capital that God gives you.
Yes.
Right. It's the seed capital that He gives you to say, go and make something of yourself.
Yes.
Right? That's the talent that you receive.
Yes.
And the purpose is the why. Why did He give you that talent? Why did He give you that seed?
Yes.
Why were you given that skill set?
Yes.
You are effortlessly funny. Like effortlessly. It's crazy. Like, why? Right?
Yeah.
I've seen some people who dance.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so shocked even when I see them dance. I'm like, how do you know what to do next? Like, how do you know when to move the arm with the leg? And, you know, and it's like so effortless.
Yeah.
And in that, my thing is always find out why. Find out why God gave this to you. I discovered that He gave me a voice, and He gave me the ability to communicate.
Before you get there, I want to understand then, how do you then say, okay, this is my seed? Because there are many people walking around with seeds, like you said, talents. They are walking around with seeds, doing everything, but they don't realize their seeds they're carrying. You know, you find someone who can sing, busy trying to create content. I mean, you see this, you know, singing, but you're out here showing yourself like a clown on social media, and it's not even funny, you know. So then how do you get to a point where you realize the seed / talent?
Whatever your hands find to do, do it well. Right.
Yeah.
This is something that I was taught a long time ago. And whatever your hands find to do it well, to the best of your ability.
Yes.
And every time that you do it, make sure that when you leave it, it's not because it was lack of effort.
Yeah.
It's simply because it's just not the thing for me. And I can't explain it any other way to anyone else. But what I do know for me is that in doing all of that, there was a moment that it just clicked. It just clicked. And I think you know, right? The spiritual side of you just knows. I'm home. This is I belong here, right?
Yes.
And for a lot of people, it's because they limit themselves, and you're trying to do what everyone else is doing, and you're trying to copy what everyone else is doing. And let me tell you, man, I've been so tempted often, like, to do what everyone else is doing, because I'm like, that's gonna get the views. But I can't do that. I can't do that. You know, you see my grown self doing umlando, picking up my shirt and, you know, moving my hips. Like, anyway, let me not seem like I'm judging people when I say that. But anyway, but I'm a speaker.
Yes.
I'm a speaker. My most important tool is my mind. I have to use my mind, and I have to use my voice, and I write, and that's it for me.
Yes.
So that for me is always it. Like, for a lot of people, it's don't try to do what everyone else is doing. You just follow that instinct. There's like this thing that God has put in you that will lead you. It will lead you, and when you get there, you'll know it.
True. Yeah.
You'll really know it.
Because, I mean, I wrote about it in the book that is coming, that to find your talent, it also goes to self-aware. Give your time to just get to know yourself. Because there are people right now being told, hey, you can cook so many times. And so many different people are telling them, hey, your food is nice. But they're taking it lightly. You know, they're taking it lightly because of self-limiting. Maybe they think, what is this? I'm just putting this. That is a talent. Sometimes I feel like you can also find what you're good at through what people are saying. If more than 10 people are telling you that you are talented, that could be it. Just focus on that, what people are telling you, and try to refine it.
Yeah, I mean, I could start singing right now, and I bet you, right, it's not gonna be pretty. Like, if I start singing right now, people don't care, and I can't just be like, nah, I'm gonna defy the odds and I'm gonna overcome, and they didn't believe in me. It's like, no, stop it.
You are talking every day, man. I think you make sure that you post every day. And who are you talking to, and why?
I'm talking to everyone, but amongst everyone, there's someone who is searching. There's someone who is searching, and it's so difficult to answer exactly who it is that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Because one day, like, there's always been a story there's a story that's always made such an impression on me, where this lady said to me, this online, right?
Yeah.
This was online, and there's a lady from Australia who said to me, I was sitting on top of a roof, and I was about to end it all.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there with my phone. I decided to go on TikTok, and I saw your video. I decided to just keep on trying. Yes. I don't even know what video it is. She said, I decided to get off from that place, try again, and I haven't looked back since.
Yeah.
This is a mother.
Yes.
Right? And in that, I sort of stopped saying I'm talking to so-and-so specifically, because there was a time I used to think I was talking to teenagers, and there was a time I thought I was talking to my peers, but now I realize I'm talking to the person who's just looking for some kind of answer, some kind of hope, some kind of inspiration. That's who I'm talking to.
I hear you, but right now, there's this book. This is the second book that you wrote.
Yes, sir.
You have authored 2 books. The first one was How Can I Make a Difference? And within 2 years, in the space, you wrote another one, which is this one, Stronger. and you are publishing these books by yourself. You're doing everything, distribution by yourself. Why are you doing that? And the challenges, what challenges are you facing as a self-publishing author and just doing everything by yourself? And why are you doing it like that? Because it's consuming, I can tell.
It is, man. It's so demanding, but it's a matter of, it's not that I don't want help. It's not that I don't want the big publishers to just put my books in stores all over the world.
Yeah.
It's that I don't have time to wait. I don't think I have time to wait for anybody.
Yeah.
We live in a time right now where there are no gatekeepers.
Yes.
Anybody who thinks that there are gatekeepers out there who's keeping them from succeeding is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for calling you stupid, but kind of. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't, and I hear them all the time, grown men talking about gatekeepers who are, and we live in an age where you have access to millions of people directly. Yeah. And you talk about how so-and-so has forbidden you and so-and-so is a gatekeeper and so-and-so. I understand that there are certain structures that are in place and there are certain machines that if you just go into them, they can accelerate your progress.
Yeah.
But if I am not willing to do the work and take it the long way if I have to, then maybe I don't deserve this. Yes. If I'm not willing to do it myself, then maybe I don't deserve to have anyone else invest in this. Yeah. If I'm not willing to do this independently, put the work in myself, no one else should.
What would you like the readers to get out of this book?
That life is progressive. Life is progressive, and hence the name Stronger, because I really do believe that the human being should be growing stronger.
Yeah.
You should never be going from a place where you are weak and then strong and then back to being weak again and then being strong again. There are so many people who are always trying to go back, right? Man, I used to be so strong spiritually. I used to be so fit physically. I used to be so healthy mentally. And I used to.
Yeah.
And my fondest belief is that you're supposed to be living life progressively. You should never be trying to go back to how you used to be.
Yeah.
The person that I am right now is far more powerful than who I used to be at any point in my past. Yeah. I've never been this strong.
Yes.
I've never been this sharp, this fast, this anything.
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
And so that's what I'm grateful for. And that's what I'm hoping that everyone gets out of this book, to say you're supposed to be progressing. Your life is supposed to be going from one level of strength to another level of strength. And within this it's 90 days of encouragement every single day, because all of us need encouragement every single day.
Yes.
And it makes us better.
Yeah, no, we'll put it out here. But before I finish this, Poloko, I want to understand, we're living in this wicked world where I feel like motivational speakers like you are needed. According to you, how do you see motivational speaking in our own society, like the role of it in the future, in the near future?
Currently, it's misunderstood, and in the future, it'll be necessary. So currently, people misunderstand it because they think that motivational speaking is just, you can do it. Don't quit, don't give up.
Yes.
Life is an egg and you can boil the potato. People think that's what it is, but that's not what it is.
Yeah.
Motivational speaking, the root word in that is motive, right?
Yes.
And so as a speaker, when I stand up, the reason I can fill the room with inspiration is because I give people a motive to go out there and do whatever it is that they want to do.
Yes.
And so some people might say, motivational speakers will just put you on a high and then you'll be... Yeah. But that was the whole point. The whole point was to get you started.
Yes.
Right? And so you thought that a motivational speaker was supposed to be the one pill that fixes everything and sets you in a place where now you are sorted. But that was never the case.
It doesn't work like that.
That was never the case.
Yeah.
And so I do think that, especially in South Africa, we're going to see a shift in terms of that personal development. We're going to see a shift in terms of that, because we have a whole lot of people right now who are starting to realize that everything that we've been told is not working so far. And so personal development is going to have to be the key.
Yes.
No one can get by without personal development. Not a single person. You give a lot of money to a person who is underdeveloped, they'll lose it all. You give a good relationship to someone who is underdeveloped, and they will lose the relationship. You give whatever it is that's good. You can give a child. A person who's underdeveloped can have a child, and they will have a terrible relationship with their child. Why? Because you are not capable of handling this. You are underdeveloped. And so every single one of us have to be growing. We have to be developing ourselves. We have to be improving ourselves on a daily basis, so that whatever it is that's given to us, we have to improve. You're going to move away from the whole, you must love me because I'm black. Love me because I'm a woman. Support me because I'm... No, you're going to have to grow. You're going to have to put something out there. That's another thing that really just boils me. Must support me because I'm black. How many young black speakers do you know? Must support me, buy my book because I'm a black guy. No. Hate that. Hate that. Support black business. Hate that.
Poloko.
I probably should follow up on that, because somebody might just take that and say, he said he hates black business. But my point with that, because I can already see even in the room, it's like that's kind of a weird thing to say.
Please clarify it.
But the point is, anytime I hear someone's, like, for example, Prime came out just the other day. This is not a plug.
Yeah.
But, and people were comparing Prime to More Fire, and people were saying self-hate is buying Prime instead of buying More Fire, a black-owned business.
Yes.
And the thing I hate about that is that when we do this, and I think this is very important for people to understand, when we do this, we do exactly what the oppressor used to do, which is identifying ourselves solely on the basis of how we look. Right? We come from a time when we were solely defined by how we look.
Yes.
Because you're black, you're not allowed here. Because you're black, you're not supposed to have this. Because you're black, you're supposed to live over there. And now what we're doing is, on the other end of it, where we're saying, because you're black, you're supposed to, because you're black. No. I want you to buy my book because I'm a brilliant mind.
Yes.
Not because I'm a black young man.
You want to buy
I'm a brilliant mind. I'm really sharp. I'm good at what I do.
Yes.
Right? Gotta buy More Fire because it's a good product.
Yes.
The man is phenomenal.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's really why I say I don't like this idea that support black business.
Yes.
No, support good business.
Yes.
Support brilliant innovation.
Yes.
At what you have to do. So
hey, I know, at least you clarified it nicely,
I hope nobody just takes it out just like that and says, you heard him.
For the air. But Poloko, because of time, man, like, me and you can talk for hours, man. Even on the phone.
Why don't you do 2-hour podcasts? Why don't you do 2-hour podcasts?
It's the machines we're using. They're not capable enough to take for 2 hours. But we'll get there. We're growing. But I have last questions. In fact, we do what we call trivia here. We ask, questions you never expected. But because you are under personal development, encouragement, so I'll ask you questions that are related to that, just to test your mind in your knowledge and understanding. The first question, this one you get it right. Which famous author wrote the Harry Potter series?
What's this woman's name, man?
You should know.
What's the woman's name? I don't read fiction.
Okay, I'll come to the non-fiction ones. Yes. J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling. I know that lady.
Okay, who's the best-selling self-help book author? The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
7 Habits of Highly Effective? I don't know. I have
Stephen Covey. You know him.
I have no idea.
You know him. Which speaker and author is famous for his leadership teachings and the book called Developing the Leader Within You?
Why are you doing this to me, bro?
I'm doing this.
Why are you doing this to me? I'm sure when there were other people here, you were probably asking them about Uncle Waffles and whatnot.
I decided to change the questioning, I was lacking there. I was very, very bad. So now it's you talk about these things, so you should know.
You said who? Say again.
This person wrote a book called Developing the Leaders Within You. Developing the Leader Within You. So the question is, which speaker and author is famous for his leadership teachings and the book Developing the Leader Within You?
I'm gonna say John Maxwell. There we go.
You got it right. You see now, this Poloko that are obviously, which speaker and author is known for his book Think and Grow Rich?
Napoleon Hill. That's my man.
Who's the
Very important book, by the way. Everyone should read that.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's a story behind it. I love it. Who's the author for? Who's the author of the self-help book called The 4 Agreements?
I never read The 4 Agreements.
I think you already have the qualities that it talks about integrity. You know, that's the first one. It's
I don't know. Give me a guess. Do you know what else is written?
Where? In the book?
Now, another book that is written.
No, I just know that one only. His name is Don Miguel Ruiz.
Oh, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. Poloko, where can people find your books? The first one, How Can I Make a Difference? And Stronger.
So we are on polokoglobal.com.
Yes.
polokoglobal.com. That's the website, and then on my social media platforms as well.
Yeah.
So. Okay, let me look there.
Yeah.
Go to the website, polokoglobal.com, to get the books for bookings as well. And then go to my social media platforms. Just search poloko.rtb.
Yeah.
You'll find me on all social media platforms.
And how much is this book?
That is $250 on our website.
250. Why you say on our website? Anywhere else, how much?
When I'm doing events or when I'm in person, I sell for 200.
200.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna get myself a copy. Obviously.
Yes, sir.
I'm not supporting black business. So thank you so much for tuning in. You remember, don't forget, this is a weekly thing. Every Sunday. You know, times because of load shedding, but every Sunday we'll make sure that we post out Bafetu. And thank you, Poloko, for coming here, for sharing the knowledge, bruh. Like it's time that is actually standing in front of us right now. You know, we can talk, and I wanted you to talk about a lot of things, just that time, unfortunately. But we can have episode 3, bruh. Nah, I don't mind, because this is mine, you know. This is my podcast, so I can do whatever that I want. So, Bafetu, please don't forget to subscribe. We want to grow, you know. When we grow, then we're going to start getting sponsors who are going to support us with even cameras, you know. I mean, this is reality, Bafetu. We're not going to try to pretend and act as if we have money. We're just doing what we can do just for you guys. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and let's grow. Let's grow this community. No chillers. Thank you. I'll see you guys next week.